Morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday Team Call. Glad you're all popping on here. We've got some folks that are popping on here, running a little bit late. Got a couple texts of apps being finished up and all that good stuff like that. But anyway, it's time to get going, though. We've got a great crew joining us here so far. All right. Let's take a look. We've had some tech problems this morning, so I'm going to do leaderboards. However, I'm going to do for the entire team because my desktop, right when I decided to get ready to print everything out, decided it wanted to go ahead and take the morning off and restart. So I will go ahead and pull everything up on my laptop here, and we will go ahead and hit leaderboards. I'm just going to do for the entire hierarchy. Again, did not have the opportunity to swing back in and get our base shop and the Dinwiddie agency segregated out. So that's all right. I see a lot of you on the top 10 anyway, so we'll just go ahead and hit top 10 for the hierarchy. Number 10, Terry Myers, 4 applications, $2,337 direct to Stella Dinwiddie. Tanya Hoffman, 2 applications, $2,376 direct to Joanna Doyman. And Joe Gooding, 1 application, $2,784 direct to John Paul Vetter. Stacy Love, 7 applications, $3,198 direct to Donna Bates. Shout out to Stacy because she had a $10,000 week last week. Joined the 10K club. So awesome, Stacy. That's always a huge accomplishment, and great job there. Stella Dinwiddie, 4 applications, $3,510 direct to myself. Donna Bates, 6 applications, $4,026 direct to Spencer Kooshian. Jenny Gray, 5 applications, $4,323 direct to John Paul Vetter. Adam Patterson, 5 applications, $5,064 direct to Joanna Doyman. Stephanie Stubbs, 4 applications, $5,530 direct to John Paul Vetter. Number 1 on the week for the entire hierarchy, including our base shop and the hierarchy as large. Spencer Kooshian, 7 applications, $12,624. Another 10K plus week. Great job, Spencer. And looks like Stacy and Spencer tied for app count lead this week with 7. And that, again, that's overall for the entire hierarchy. So great week, everybody. Month to date so far, again, apologize. Let me update this here real quickly. Hopefully op doesn't decide that it wants to close down here. So he's touching on a Friday morning. All right, there we go. All right, I'm gonna say if it takes any longer, we'll have to move on. All right, top 10 for the month. Lorinda Thompson, 5 applications, $6,337 direct to Mark Roberts. James McKeon, 14 applications, $8,166 direct to John Paul Vetter. Jenny Gray, 10 applications, $8,436 direct to John Paul. Renata Karanov, 3 applications, $10,221 direct to Joanna Doyman. Stephanie Stubbs, 9 applications, $11,636 direct to John Paul. Donna Bates, 17 applications. Great app count there, Donna. $11,844 direct to Spencer. Stella Dinwiddie, 16 applications, right up there on the app counts. $13,424 direct to myself. Adam Patterson, 17 applications, $14,080 direct to Joanna. And Stacy Love in the number 2 spot right now for the month and leading on app counts. Overall in the hierarchy, 30 applications, $19,704 direct to Donna. And number 1 so far for the month, monster month, we still have another week left. Spencer Kooshian, 21 applications, $33,833. That is some awesome production, guys. So hats off to everybody that's going out and making it happen. You guys are doing a great job, and we have actually a lot more riders. Let's see, total so far, 39 riders overall as a hierarchy. So great month going on, guys. Excited to see all of you being in the mix there. And if you're new, getting ready to jump in the mix, you can kind of see from the numbers, things get pretty fun pretty quickly. So announcements, guys. Next Wednesday, national conference, digital conference, as well as going to be in person. However, because of obviously everything that went on, trying to be safe and everything. They moved that online. We will have an in-person conference sometime later this year. They have not, to my knowledge, I haven't seen any updates on that, but we will eventually have an in-person. But the great thing about the times that we live in is we can do this all day long, jumping on a screen and sharing some phenomenal information. And guys, I'm going to encourage you. Obviously, it's an expectation. You want to be on that conference. These are huge events. These are where big moves are made in this business. This is where people get the kind of information and the kind of energy they need to accelerate their business. But there are going to be some huge rollouts coming, some things that are going to be life-changing and business-changing for you. So be tapped into that. Make sure, for those of you who've got teams that you're building or working on building, get anybody and everybody to that event. Even if somebody that you're interviewing and they're kind of sitting on the fence, not sure what direction they want to go, they need to be a part of that. Look, the way I look at it, that's an opportunity for them to either be in or be out. If they go to the conference and they're not fired up, or go to the digital conference or other and they're not fired up, then it's not for them, and that's okay. But what better way to find out than to be able to see behind the curtain of everything that's going on with this company and what's coming down the pipe, and if they want to be a part of that. And again, if they don't, that's totally cool. There's never a better time to find that out than plugging somebody in that. So leverage that for yourself, leverage that for your business and for your teams, and make sure next Wednesday that you are a part of that. Check. I'm going to a watch party over in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So if you look on the Symmetry's, Quality's website at the events, just see if anybody else is having a watch party in your area. If they are, hey, maybe go hang out with some other folks and kind of get around the fire a little bit. Enjoy that time. So if anybody wants to come to Tulsa, we're going to be Marlon Faulkner, a theater. I'm not sure how you pull that off, but he's got a theater reserved. And so if anybody wants to come to Tulsa, planes land in Tulsa. So hop on a plane and come join us. So, all right, guys, got some great content for you today. First off, so Stella's going to be hosting, but I'm going to first bring on, because I talked to Spencer about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was talking about one of the products that we use, or that he uses rather, and we don't use, and probably not enough, because there's some nuances with it. And it's just not one that's just high on our radar, but it's actually a fairly easy product to use, a fairly easy product to write, and it's a niche product that will fit, for some circumstances where maybe you're trying to get something else to work and it's just not quite there. And this could be a good alternative. So part of what we want to do on Friday Team Call is bring you valuable information that you can plug in your business, start helping your clients and helping your business grow. So Spencer, I went ahead and made you co-host. If you, and I think if you want to do screen share, you're welcome to do that, but I'll turn the speaker over to you.
Okay. Can you hear me okay, everybody? Everybody good? Stella, love it. Love your smile every week, Stella. It's awesome. Okay, guys, so I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to take off and have some fun today doing some new products. So I'm going to start off with the 25. Let's go with the 30-year-old female $250,000 mortgage, and let's go to one of our favorite carriers. And look at the options here, and let's just say she's healthy, or maybe takes one medication. And just a thumbs up. Can you guys see? I just want to make sure you see Term Life Express there. Okay, great. So let's look at 3 options for the client. Normally when I go into a house and I've got a young client, family, maybe going above and beyond, so I'll do a normal term, I'll do a return of premium, and then I'll do this new product, which we've always had, but it's super easy to do, and it just squashes the return of premium. Okay, so let me show you. So let's just look at numbers for a second. So 30-year, 250,000, 5741. Okay, great number, right? You can add some disability to that, enhance that, do whatever you want to do with it. So nobody's going to balk at $50, $60. That's a great product. Okay, so now let's go and look at, and you guys can, I would write these numbers down just so you can see the comparison versus just visually. So first one, 250,000. We're going to stay on 250K. The next one's going to be the return of premium. All right. So this one, obviously, we all know, whoa, $100, right? 107 bucks, 55. So that jumped up for somebody looking to be under $100, but loves the return of premium. Wow, they love that ability to get living benefits, terminal, critical, and chronic, and get all their money back. And I know you guys know how to read this, but here you go, 38,718. Okay, as a return of premium. And hey, they might like this, guys. Let's just say her name is Brenda. Brenda, at the end of this, you got an option. You can take the money and run off to Cabo and have some fun for a week, or you can have paid up life insurance for reduced rate, almost 100,000. So we've got term, we've got return of premium. All right, drum roll, Ferrari coming out of the garage, right? Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up my full screen here now. So hold on just a second so you can see the comparison. So I'm going to share my full screen. You guys should be able to see everything here. All right, hold on just a second. And I'm going to scoot that over. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go all the way to the top. So hang in there with me for just a second. So this is the IULE, okay? All right. And so in order to get the IULE as a product, you need to do this. You need to have WinFlex from Mutual of Omaha. Simple to do. Call Mutual of Omaha, say you want WinFlex. They will give you the website and everything you need, and then you'll hit this little button that says register up here. Okay, it'll take a day or so for them to, it might even be less than that. I can't remember. I did this a long time ago. And this will come on board for you. You'll get it, and you just log in and you do the illustration. They'll walk you through that. That's, I'm happy to do that. If we have a few minutes left over, I can show you real quickly, but let's focus on the product. Okay. So going back to, excuse me. All right. So going back to your return of premium, I'm going to scoot that over. Can everybody see the dual screen? Okay. It's clear. Yes, thumbs up. You see the full here? Yes, good. Okay. So let's go. I always give them, I start with page 2 and 3. I don't pull off a 1, okay? I don't want to get the client wrapped up into 25 pages of illustration or 24 pages. I keep it simple, okay? They'll get that anyway when they get their product. 250,000. Okay, so this one's cheaper than the return of premium, $92.98. Guys, this is a permanent product. Permanent, okay? They're going to have it for their entire life. They're going to get all their living benefits, chronic, critical, and terminal, okay? The next page, okay? The next page gives them a nice little policy at a glance. That's why I say page, whoops, whoa, just hit the wrong button, sorry. All right. Next page gives them a policy at a glance. Hey, you get your mortgage protection life insurance, you get your living benefits. Oh, you get tax deferred income. I know for all of our financial analysts out there, there's only 2 products in the country that gives you tax deferred income. Okay. The first one being yes, you're right, a Roth IRA. The second one being an IULE, which means you can take money out tax-free, okay? All right, we'll come to that in a second. Okay, so then from pages 2 and 3, we're gonna go down to another important page you need. It's page 23. So we're gonna jump on that. You'll need to have this with you, or you need to get a signature on the program, okay? Signature, and it's right here, yours and theirs. You can print this out. You can use an app on your iPad that will do this digitally, because they might go, well, what does $100 cost? What is that? I usually take one, but I'm ready to move on the fly. If they up it or lower it, they usually do. So that's important. Now to the best part. Let's go to the last several pages, which is, again, print out page 2 and 3, print out page 23, and then roughly around page 30 is the illustration. All right. So here are the important parts, okay? the first thing I'm going to show the client is, let's go out 30 years. She's 30 years old. Let's go out to age 60 and look at the performance. All right. Now, wow. $38,000 back, or what's the number, Stella? What's that number say? How much? Can you see it? Yes, that's right, Stella. 51,671. Wow. It blows it away. Now, we tell the client, look at this interest rate right here. That's what it's running at. It takes a 60-year average of the S&P 500. That's an average. Yes, it can be zero. Okay, but remember, this is 60 years. The likelihood of it being zero is highly unlikely. Right now, it's at 5.87, and if that's what the illustration's on, but it can go up to 9. I think it's 9.5%. 99% sure. If it's not, it's 9%. Okay, it's a 9 number. I'm pretty sure it's 9.5. And it tells me, I can look on the page. It tells me up there. But anyway, that's how you illustrate it. Okay, now let's go beyond that. All right. So they could use these monies to help pay for education. They could pull this out for retirement. They've always got $250,000 of life insurance running. So Spence wants to take the $50,000 out at age 60 for retirement. Okay. And now I can pay that back. I can pay myself back, or I can count it against my life insurance and never pay it back. Okay. So I can do one of two things, but bottom line is I'm gonna outperform the return of premium. I've got money growing all the time. And hey, if I come down here at age 70, wow, I'm now at 82,000 conservatively, right? Conservatively. I've always got my life insurance, guys, all the way to end of life. They push these out to 120 years. Okay. So here's how you can help your client. Look, you know, I'm going to spend $100. All right. So if I'm going to spend $100, I love the return of premium, but I got to wait 30 years to see any return on that. I would have return on that all the time going forward, you know, minus what? The first 5 years, 6 years. Okay. Then there's money growing, of which I could take a loan if I need to pay off a credit card. Okay, and pay myself back. I can do that. And but the key here is I've got a permanent product, and it's a little cheaper. Okay, so most people, if they're looking, you know, long play, not short play, and they want something in return, which most young people do. Okay, they will look to this product. They will want to pay the extra $50, $40. And have a permanent in-place product. All right. Now, it doesn't stop with a young person. You know, let's say you have a business owner who, you know, really wants some insurance. Now, there's max, I think it's 300,000 you can go up to. It'll tell you when you go into the illustrations. But again, they're willing to spend more. I wrote a program on a friend of mine, close family friend. He spent almost $300 a month on it because he wanted a permanent product. He was approaching his 50s. And he didn't want to have a term product that was going to end on him. Okay. So again, easy to run. Chris, do I still have a minute or two, or am I out of time? I got a minute or two. All right. So let's
You got more than a minute, Spencer. You're doing awesome. This is such great content. Please keep it going.
Okay. I didn't want to cut anybody short or do anything. So
let me go. You're good. You're good, brother.
Let me go over here to WinFlex really quickly and log in. Okay. All right, so I think that's my login. I always kind of have, oh, I guess it's not my login. Well, let's try the other one. Hold on. Let's try that Koosh crazy guy. All right, that's him. All right, here we go. All right, can everybody see that now, or is it kind of fuzzy? Everybody see the whole screen? Yes, thumbs up? No, can't see? All right, hold on. Let's do this.
On illustration.
Yep, I got you. I'm back. Now you see it, right? Yay. All right, wonderful. Okay, so once you log in, this is what your screen's going to look like. Okay. All right, you've got Mutual of Omaha Health over here, United of Omaha Life. You hit illustrations, easy peasy, right? Once you hit illustration, you go start a new case. Oh, easy peasy. I don't want a health plan. This is not health insurance. So United of Omaha. Then I come over here to the right, Index Universal Life Express. You want the Express, okay? Create client. Okay, the only thing that will get you stumped is make sure you put your agent info. It doesn't save it. I've not been able to save this, so I have to constantly go in there, put your agent info. Again, you can tinker with this and have fun with it, but it's a piece of cake. Then you come back over to the insured, put their information in. We had a 30-year-old female, piece of cake, standard non-tobacco. She lives in the beautiful state of Virginia. Okay, then solve for. Then you just put your face amount, okay, or premium amount, and then put your face amount in up to 300,000. Easy solve is what most people do, but when you get good at it, you can do something like this. Premium solve. So now you go, and here's the interesting thing. Don't worry about this right now. The reps can help you with this, but I just wanted to show you something really cool. Let's go, you got an older person and you're going to go, you only want to run it for 20 years. So it's like having a 20-year product. So a 50-year-old or a 40-year-old doesn't want to have a 30-year term product. Yeah, it'll be less money, but they'll get to the benefit, won't pay as long, if that makes sense. So this is just another way to structure the product for someone over 40 or over 50, okay, in their 50s or 40s. The young folks, between 20 and 40, you want to run this for 30 years for sure. And you would just do easy solve at that point, okay? And over here to the right, I think, no, it's not this page, but on one of these, it shows you, I can't remember. It might be in the beginning. It shows you what the maxes are. It's still 300,000. It's just like the other one. Okay. And then once you run the product, you just hit save and you got it. It's good to go. It's a PDF. You can take it with you, print out those pages, but that's it. So you show the term, the ROP, and then the Ferrari, the IULE. Okay. Again, and Mutual of Omaha is very friendly with health cases as long as there's not too many things going on. You can probably get your client through. But that's the Ferrari, guys, and it's easy. I remember when we all started, we started with National Life's their Flex Life, and it was a lot harder than this product. It actually didn't pay as well. And just remember this, write this little note to yourself. It's in your illustration. It'll give you the option what type of program you want to participate in. It's the 100% participation rate is what you want. That's the little button you click when you go in. That's the only, if anybody gets stumped, that's where it's right here. See, oh, I've got the wrong one. Sorry. It's in your illustration too. Sorry, guys. Whoops. I'm going back to the PDF. And you'll see it right here on the left. It says 100% or top over the guaranteed 100% participation account. That's the button that you hit when you're going through there. Okay. And again, if you get confused on all these sheets, I don't ever pull all these sheets out. I just do those two and 3, 23 to sign, and then the illustrations. Okay. But just keep in mind, just like any product that works on an interest rate, just make sure you say, look, of course it can be 0, but right now and over many, many years, you've got a solid company. It's been 5.87. Okay. It can go up. It can go down. And then the last thing of this is they will always send you a statement every year to let you know how you're doing in the product. One last thing. Sorry, Stella. One last thing. I won't say this because then I'll get a bunch of people chargebacks. Okay. People are less likely to charge back this product because it's a permanent product. Okay. And it has more things to it. It grows. It gives them a lot more options. Retirement is a wonderful word people like to hear. Okay. It's the only other vehicle that that grows tax-free. You can take money out tax-free other than a Roth. All right, guys, that's it. We had fun,
Awesome.
didn't we? Wasn't that great? Wasn't that fun?
Learned some new stuff. You can see why Spencer not only at the top of the leaderboards, but also has the Golden Pin Award. You know, he's absolutely right, and that's one of the things that I want to definitely highlight, because for Spencer to run an 80% issue paid rate, which again that counts not only cases that get placed, but also in that is factor back any chargebacks. And so to have that high of a number means you're not having a lot of chargeback, you're getting a lot of business placed. And you can see the process they went through. Not only I mean, they're all great products, but he really gave the client all the options and let them decide and let them make that purchase, but do so in a way that they feel like they're getting real value, and they are. So yeah, that's a great product. It's one that we could certainly utilize a little bit better. Obviously fitted to the right client in the right situation. And Spencer, you brought this up, but one area that I've used the ULs or the IULs is you get somebody that's like 51, 52, and they don't qualify for return of premium. That's a good secondary product to go to, because a lot of our products, cut off at age 50 for return of premium. So great topic this morning. So at this point, we're going to roll the call over to Stella to take it off, and she's also got some thoughts to share about adding these tools to your toolbox.
Thank you, Chris. That was amazing, Spencer. I wrote down a ton of notes, and I learned so much. I love how you walk people through the WinFlex. We did that for my team a while back, but there's a lot of new people coming on. So there's a lot of new people that don't know about WinFlex. And that's a wonderful tool, because you can use it not only for, just the IUL illustration, you can use it for your whole life illustration, for the term, and it outlines all those benefits on there. That was just really great. I loved how you rolled that out, and I couldn't yell out the amount, because when the numbers are on the screen like that, it's really tiny. I'm like Mr. Magoo. I cannot see that tiny print. but I'm just, I cannot tell you, everybody, seriously, how thankful and grateful I am to be here. So first most, I just want to put that out there, because my life has personally changed so much for the better since I've been here in so many different ways. And
hey, Stella, can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
Can I just share a Stella story? Because I've been here a long time.
Please
so
do.
When Stella first came, for those who remember, you remember, but for those who didn't, Stella is a rock star now, but when Stella first came, there were many a day we were tearing together. Stella was saying, how do I do this? I can't do this. How do I do it? How do you guys do it? And so, but, we all went through that. And Stella, I just love seeing you smile, because I remember those days. And so was there with you, sister, too. So, but glad to see you shining so bright. Keep that star shining, girl.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because, gosh, you guys always make me cry, because you're so right, Spencer. Like, I was in, the place of, so many people coming on board. And I had many phone calls. I would call Chris, and, I would be like, I don't know, what I'm not doing right, and honestly, one of the things that he would always tell me is, okay, what's your numbers? How many dials, how many contacts, how many appointments are you making? And back then I was buying 50-cent leads and dollar leads, because I couldn't afford to buy the A leads. I just couldn't. And I would, have these low numbers, and he would be like, Stella, you sound great on the phone. You just don't have enough activity. I don't have enough data to really, truly, assess, where there can be some real problems, because, this is a numbers game. And he said it a lot better than I'm telling you, but honestly, yeah, and I think that's one of the hardest things for many of you new people you know, or even if you're not new, if you haven't, you know, got the results that you wanted, at the end of the day, you know, that's actually, you know, one of the things we're going to look at is just really, you know, where am I falling in line with the system, what they're telling me to do. So anyways, yeah. And, you know, I'm just so grateful to you, Chris, because you've been just one of the best mentors ever. And I'm just beyond grateful for all your support and encouragement and guidance along the way. You know, and may I never forget all that you've done for me to help me to be here where I'm at today. You know, we always come to these meetings with the greatest desire to make a positive impact, to help you in your journey, to find your own level of success here. You know, everyone's journey is different. Some of you are brand new and you're like, IUL, that just looks really confusing. It can be. And when you're helping a client, it can be. And one of your resources to help you, you know, in your toolbox is going to your carrier. You heard Spencer talk about, you know, calling the sales desk. I have been on the phone initially, and it is painful, you know, but I would encourage you to, when you call the sales desk, call it not during your dial time, call it before your dial time, because they're all open on Eastern Standard Time usually, or Central Standard Time. So if you're on the Pacific Standard Time, then you can call before your dial time, or get your, you know, dial time in from like 9 to 11 and then call them. But get that training, because that is a phenomenal resource. And I just, you know, can't tell you how vital it is to use those resources. And we, you know, we always want to share, right? We want to share with you, you know, we want to help show you what we've learned along the way here to help us, so we can help pave the way to help you, because that's what Symmetry has done for us. That's what it's done for me. That's what it's done for Spencer. That's what it's done for so many of us. And with that being said, you know, there are some key components that are essential, that are critical in being able for you to find success here. And so before I dive into our amazing, awesome, phenomenal resources of tools that we'll go through, and it's not going to be long because some of you will know those resources. Some of you have been here as long as me, and you're going to be glad that I'm going to take you and show you some of these things. So because even I myself, our company, oh my goodness, you guys, is growing at such a crazy, phenomenal rate. Like, this is the best time to be here ever, because you know, you heard us talk about virtual conference, which, let me just tell you, that's another huge resource you do not want to miss. I'm sworn to secrecy, all of us as agency owners, but I can't say a lot, but I can tell you that they're getting ready to roll out some really crazy, amazing stuff that is going to give you back some more time. There's just, I can't say anything or I'll get in trouble, but just know you don't want to miss it. Like, you just don't want to miss it. So anyways, so, you know, some of the things that I wanted to just really go through with you, you know, to help, you know, some of the tools that'll help you build your dream here. I just want to review a few things that really weighed heavily on my mind, especially after a phone call I had last night with a client that I had helped. And, you know, we'll talk about that in a minute. Because so often, you know, people, you know, I'm sure they'll ask you, Spencer, hey, what are you doing? You know, how many leads are you buying? You know, what kind of leads are you buying? When do you dial? And while all that makes a difference, I'll tell you the biggest difference maker above all, and I just feel like this is so much needed in our reminder, is number one, your biggest tool in your toolkit is your belief and your faith that you can do this. And I can't stress it enough. If you could please write that down. The number one thing I need to have is faith and belief. And if you don't have that, you're going to struggle. nobody wants to see you struggle. You know, John Maxwell, I heard a audio from him once, and he said, I love what he said. He said, you know, if there was one thing I could help you, I would breathe confidence into you. And Spencer, I love that you commented and brought up about how when I first started here, because I didn't have the confidence that I had today. It was built up over activity. I failed forward hard many times. And I still have weeks that, you know, I'm not there. I'm far from there. Just yesterday I had like 4 appointments, and I've got 2 emails that had to reschedule. One I called the day before, and they told me that, yeah, we're all set. Crickets. You know, I go on, I call them, they don't show up, you know, so you know, but I have the faith and belief that I know over time through my struggle that, you know what, here, I can just get back on the phone. So I got back on the phone, and I'll be back on the phone today, because you hear Chris always talking about the week is not over yet. Well, even better, the day's not over. The day has just begun, you guys. In my time right now, Pacific time, it's only 8:30. And we all know sometimes it can just take one policy, you know, one client, you know, that can make your week. I just can't stress that enough. So I want to encourage you all to fail forward. Fail forward. That means you're going to fail, get back up, you know. And then number 2 in your resource, your toolbox is, you know, we're going to cover other tangible things, but these things are so key, is your ability to learn how to communicate, excuse me, and have a relationship with your clients. We need to have the ability to listen to our clients. We need to be able to understand their needs in order to help them, because sometimes what they say up front may not give you the answers until you actually dig deep and better understand, you know, where they are in their life and what's important to them. And this just happened to me last night, and I wasn't going to talk about it, but I really think it's really important, because it applies to our, you know, our tools of resources. You know, our number 1 resources we have is us. It's what we have, what we bring to the table. And last night I talked to this guy. I'm not going to use his real name. I'll just call him Bob Smith. And he's 58 years old. I'm looking at my lead sheet, or my client qualification sheet, and he's super healthy. And, you know, he only takes, you know, lisinopril and a water pill. And he works for heating and, you know, AC, and his mortgage is $418,000. It's on a 30-year term, and his monthly payment is $2,300. And, you know, he has a daughter named Janessa, and on his sheet, he did not say that he had a, co-borrower. So, you know, if you haven't learned this, one good way to understand, to find out, you know, how you can help them is ask them, you know. And I learned this on the SFG calls, you guys. I learned these on SoundClouds. Like, if you want some good tools in your toolbox and resources, you hear us say it all the time, but I can't stress that enough either, is listen, go back and listen to the SoundClouds, because I heard it on a SoundCloud that I stumbled across, and so I use it. I always use it now. I'll say, so, hi, Bob, you didn't list that you had a co-borrower on your form here. So who would be your beneficiary? That is a much better way than having to find out, so why do you want to have this? Is it to protect your wife, your kids? That's sales talk. You don't want to, so consulting talk. Remember, there's a difference, because we're not in sales. We're in consulting and relationships. We're in the people business with each other and with our clients. And so when I said that, you know, he said, I don't know, you know, I mean, I really don't have anybody. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, you know, when people tell me that, and they've got to, you know, and I already went through his, asking him, you know, letting him know everybody I help has insurance through their work. But aside from your work insurance, you know, do you currently own, you know, life insurance plan, or have you ever been denied? And he said, no, never been denied, never even got it. I had it years ago, but I haven't had it since. And he was just kind of like, eh. And I said, well, do you, okay. I said, well, because so for those people, just so you know, between you and I, that's when I will lean more towards, okay, what's going to help them, not so much help somebody else. So, and that's usually like critical illness, heart attack, cancer coverage. I can tell, I just told you his stats. He's got a big old honking mortgage, $418,000. He's got a hefty monthly payment, $2,300. It's by himself. He's still only 58, so he's not going to retire anytime soon unless he's got $1 million packed away in the backyard. So there, I was like, oh, okay, well, I never know if you're looking to, some of our, clients, that they know that we are a holistic company, and that means that we represent, all of the top A-rated insurance carriers, like Mutual of Omaha, Gerber, National Life Group, John Hancock, American Amicable. I mean, you name it, the list goes on, but there's a lot of them. So we're able to shop the market for them. And, not only do we help them with, putting a plan in place in case they die to protect their home so it doesn't go back to the bank. But, a lot of them are asking me, hey, can you help me with disability? Or, what if I have a heart attack or a cancer and I'm financially devastated? I know what that feels like. So I don't know, was that something that, that you were interested in? And as we're talking, he tells me this story. He starts to tell me about how he has a daughter and she's well off, but he says that he lost his son a year ago. And I said, and due to an accident, because we talked about, accidental death. Oh, that's how we got there. I said, well, we offer, and we also offer accidental death. I said, usually someone always knows, somebody that's, that's happened to. And little did I know, this guy tells me he lost his son last year. And I'm so sorry. Like, he went on, this guy told me the story about how I didn't even ask him. He just started, like, I don't even think he realized it. He started telling me on the phone about, because I said, I'm really sorry, Bob. I can't imagine it. I just can't imagine. He goes, yeah, I never want to wish that upon anybody, for them to lose their child. He said, he told me that the company, he got a phone call at like 9:30 at night, and he said that his son's company told him that he didn't show up for work. And he said he had the best son. His son was the guy that said, I love you, Dad, all the time. He goes, and my daughter doesn't really say that. She's a good girl, but she just, my son was just that kind of son. And I just helped him get into a house, and I was really proud of him. And I was so proud of him. He goes, and so it wasn't like him, with his work called. He goes, and I don't know what made me think of it. He goes, but I decided to get out in the car and go for a drive. He goes, and I heard on that there was an accident on like just literally 2 minutes from his work. And he goes, I drove over there towards his work, and I pull up, and there's like all these ambulances. And he goes, he goes, they don't let you in. And he says that his son, he died on impact. And I mean, his story just touched me. Like, he walked me through the whole thing. And he says that he sat in his car, and they don't let you go out there. And apparently he died on impact. The kid that hit him died on impact. And the kid that hit him wasn't supposed to be driving, didn't have a driver's license, had drugs in his car. And after he tells me the story, he goes, I don't know what made me go there. He goes, something pulled me there. He goes, and he wasn't crying when he told me, but you could tell he was emotional. And I said, and I just listened in silence. I didn't know how to respond. And I was like streaming tears listening to him. He goes, and then he tells me, I don't know. I haven't told anybody that story. He goes, it's been a year. He goes, when it first happened, I bawled for 2 months straight. He goes, I never, I haven't cried, because I said, wow, you're very strong. And he said, yeah. Well, when it happened, I cried. I bawled for 2 months straight. And so we were talking, and I thanked him for sharing that with me. I said, I'm sure that wasn't easy. And then so, and I had kind of a hard time getting back on track. And I said, well, if you like, we can look at, your, the critical, illness for you. Cause I think I'd already told him a little bit about my story, about how I had got cancer and it financially devastated me. And maybe that's what opened him up to being vulnerable, to telling me his story. And I said, most people, what they like to do is they like to look at what their monthly income is. I said, what's your, net monthly income? Because we'd look at like replacing that, with a lump sum check. Mutual of Omaha has the best plan. It'll pay you a lump sum check upon a simple diagnosis of either cancer, any internal cancer, any kind of cancer, except for basal cell, because they don't consider that very bad. I said, or upon a simple diagnosis of a heart attack or cancer. Heart attack or stroke. And, and I told him about how my dad, we lost my dad at a young age in his 50s to a massive heart attack. And my grandmother had 3 strokes, and the third one paralyzed half her body. And I said, so I've already been devastated financially through cancer. I said, I'm not going to go through that again. I said, maybe this will never happen to me, but I've got a plan in place, which is true. It's $100,000 that they'll pay me in a lump sum check. It cost me about, I think, because I'm 56. So when I got it this last year, it cost me about $120 a month, but it's worth it to me because that's in my history, my family history. So if I have a heart attack or a simple stroke, Mutual Omaha is not going to make me give them any receipts or anything. They're just going to send me a check for $100,000. And if I need to take time off work, I need to recover, whatever I need to do, I can use it for anything I want to. And that's a big deal to me because I wish I had that when I went through my cancer. And so he tells me, he's got $5,000 a month. And so I said, okay, let's take that times it by 6 months. So if we were to replace your 6 month salary, that's $30,000. I said, what do you think you'd be more concerned about getting, cancer or heart attack or both? And he's like, probably heart attack. I said, okay, so let's look at that. And so I pulled it up and it was only like $34 and something cents. And so he's like, that sounds good. And and I start low because sometimes, a lot of times actually, they'll tell me, gosh, that's good price. Well, can you run it for me for 50,000 or show me what 100,000 looks like? And then we'll go through those. And we did this over the phone. And he's like, yeah, I like that. And I said, okay, I just have a few medical questions. So we went through the application, plopped it in. And he said, we got to, almost finishing it. And, he was yawning on the phone. It was late. It was like 8:30, I think. And and we got to his bank account information. He goes, oh, it's out in my truck. And I said, hey, you know what, if you want, because he, I could tell he was tired. And I said, we can finish this up tomorrow if you'd like. He's like, oh, that'd be great. I said, yeah, no worries. And so we're going to finish it up today. And I'm totally confident that we will. So I'm not worried about him. But, that's, that kind of made the story long, and I'm so sorry. Sorry, my cat is pushing my laptop around. But I really wanted to just share that story with you guys, because when I talk about the resources we have in our toolbox about, our ability to communicate and have a relationship with our clients, when I was brand new and when I struggled really hard, thank you again for reminding me, Spencer, because it's a good reminder, you guys, because I would have, when he told me that he didn't, I don't have any, I don't care. I probably would have said, oh, okay. And my lack of faith and belief, wouldn't have helped him. I would have been like, oh, okay, well, thanks for your time, or, I just wouldn't have pursued, that application. And you never know what's going on behind the scenes. So my point is that's a good tool. So I'm just going to quickly go through a few tools, and I'm going to share my screen real quick. Chris, do I have screen sharing rights here?
You should now.
Okay, awesome. So let me go ahead and training. I'm gonna. Okay. All right. So Quillity, I cannot stress how many amazing resources are in here. Get nosy, go through all of this. If you go into resources, or I'm sorry, if you go into training, resources is awesome too. All of them are. But if you go into training and you come on down here to product concepts, click on that, it'll bring you to this page, and it's got a ton of resources for you. Obviously you've got your best script, you've got your real sales script, you've got your 4 keys to a successful week. This one, I'll just touch on it real quick, because if you feel like you're not getting the results you want, oftentimes, you guys, no one likes to hear it, but I love what John Paul Vetter always used to say, people want to be in the results, but not in the action of doing. And it's so true. If you're not, if you're not getting your appointments that you want, then, look at your calls. Oops, wrong one. Let's see, let me go back here. Cornerstone success. Cornerstones, 4 cornerstones. If you're not getting the results that you want, look at this. Oh, hey, guess what? What's the number 1 thing on the 4 cornerstones? Belief. Honestly, I didn't even come here and look. I think it's just ingrained in me, because I have just been a sponge since I've been here, and I continue to be, because I want to be like Chris and Scott and Jacob and Marshall Whalen. So do you. That's we want to have those big goals. So belief, in yourself, have the confidence to know you're going to win here. In the service, own what you sell. I just told you, that's a great example. I told you I have my own heart attack coverage. Maybe you can't afford that right now. I couldn't when I first started. I could barely even afford to buy $50 a week in leads when I first started. But once you get better at what you're doing here, you'll be able to afford, get an accidental. Start off with it costs $10 a month to get $100,000 of accidental death, and belief in the system. But here's what I wanted to bring you to is massive action. If you're not getting your results, ask yourself, how many dials did I make yesterday? How many dials did I make this whole past week? If you're full-time and you want the results of, 12, 15 sits, our new thing is 10 sits. Forget the appointments, because we know people don't show up, especially those of you that are like me that are 100% remote. Like, I don't go out of my house. I help people over the phone, like I did with the gentleman last night, or over Zoom like this. I don't go in their house. So our chances are greater for people not to show up, or to, or have to reschedule. So if you're not getting your appointments, you really need to look in a mirror and ask, how many dials am I making? That's a big deal. And then for part-time, maybe you don't have to make as many. And here's another great thing, is that once you start doing more, you get better. It's natural progression. You will get better, I promise you. I don't make $300 to $500 dials anymore. I do if I want to have a $15,000 week, but to have, average, and I don't want to be average, but to have average, I make less than that. So make those dials. That's what's going to give you the results you want. Seek counsel often. If you're not getting, your results, ask your upline. Sometimes you may not like hearing what your upline has to say, because sometimes you might even be asking other people, trying to, see if someone else will tell you something different. You guys, it's across the board in all of Symmetry. Every single national call, every call you will be on, you will hear the consistent things: belief, activity, be consistent, have the focus. So when you do that dial time, and then, and just having that's what will create your momentum. And commitment to ongoing self-improvement. There's a lot of things I want to take you through, but because time won't allow us to, I would like to, in closing, give you some updates. American Amicable. If you don't know about this, it's because you missed it on our national call. And if you're not on our national calls, if you're working, we understand. If you're, but if you have an emergency, we understand. But if you're not putting it in your schedule, then shame on you, because that's your area to learn. They talked about American Amicable will now go up to 500,000. So I remember when I first started, I was frustrated, and I always called Chris and be like, well, their mortgage is 400,000. What can I do? Well, now you can go to American Amicable. They're going to roll out some training this week, so keep an eye out for that. And then secondly, Americo will now go up to 450,000 without the swab. I had to do that once early on in the game, and I had to go and swab the guy's mouth, put it in a vial, mail it off. You don't have to do that anymore. So you have those additional resources. You've got resources like what Spencer talked about with WinFlex. Many people on my team know about it, but some of you brand new people that don't, he gave a great explanation on how to do that. And because we're short on time, I will tell you the number one resource you have is here. You've got everything you need here. You've got the training. You have your agent activity report. If you're not using this, please make sure you're using it. There's also a sheet that those of you a little bit, really wanting to see your results at greater levels, use the, it's called the, it's a step higher than the activity sheet. And I had it on my other computer here. Is it in here? Where is it at? It's a little bit more high level, but this is great for those of you that are trying to keep track of, some of you are more analytical, that want to keep track of how much you're spending versus how much you are, let me find it in your agency builders corner. I think it's here, versus how much you are, no, that's onboarding. Business tracker, where did it go, Chris? I'm looking for the sheet that you can plug in your dials and your, the amount of leads that you invested in and your return on it. I wonder if this is a business tracker. Let me just see real quick. But these are awesome, you guys. Because it'll give you your, no, this is for recruiting. Well, for those of you recruiting, this is awesome, amazing. I know you just sent out an email about it, but there is I'll find it and we'll get it out to you, because the form that I was looking for, it will give you the ability to, it has a formula in there, and it will tell you, what you're costing, your leads per sit, and it helps you kind of figure out your PPL. So go to Quality you guys, use your resources, and your biggest resource is you. Don't forget that. You guys are all amazing. You are true winners. I can't stress that enough. I know early on when I was on these calls, that meant so much to hear, for me to hear that I can do this and you can do this. So don't forget that. That's all I have, Chris, because of time.
Awesome call, man. Just a ton of information. Hopefully you all take something away from this. Quick note on the Americo product, that's across all term products. That includes the CBOs, the cashbacks, which we've got a good alternative here with what Spencer was showing us. But if you do have somebody that product fits, their cashback, their term 100, term 125, continuation, payment protector. I mean, across the board, up to 450, no saliva test. That's kind of been a little bit of an Achilles heel with them, to use them on higher mortgage amounts, but they've obviously corrected that. So take advantage of that. We love writing Americo. Stacy Love, I think, is learning to love writing Americo more. I talked to her the other day. Stacy, we'll get you on to highlight that here very soon. But the issue paid, guys, everything about this business, the numbers that we read off this morning, I mean, that's great that everybody's putting those numbers up, but you got to get that business issued. One of the easiest and fastest way to do that is to write somebody who's going to give you a decision while you're sitting there with the client. And sometimes it's just a decision we have to make. Sometimes that's just a decision like, I'm going to write it and I'm not even going to, I'm going to write it with the company and that's going to take care of the client, going to take care of me and get that policy issued. So Americo, John Hancock, quality level term. I know that's still a new product, but get that on your radar. Keep that. I would move that way up to the very top of your list, guys. That quality level term product. That is one of the easiest applications, best product, best turnaround, fastest. I mean, it checks a lot of boxes. So, all right. And that was a phenomenal call this morning. Stella, I love that you shared that story. Guys, one of the things, and I'll leave this with you, I don't want to extend this call out, but Stella sharing that call from her client, because what you got to understand, folks, is, you hear the little phrase, facts tell, stories sell. Stories will close business in what we do. What we sell is an intangible, so we have to be able to tell stories. Go back, listen to that story that Stella told. If you don't have a good why story that you can tell to a client, borrow hers. Just say, you know what, I had a client who just lost his son a year ago. Now, it is your client because it's part of the same system. We're all part of the system. So it may not be the one that you wrote, but it is our client. It's our client within the family. So use that story. We don't use it in a manipulative way. We use that in a way to relate to people. Because I guarantee you, when somebody filled out that form, something was going on. The wheels were turning. They either saw something on TV, an accident, family member, friend, something triggered them. Nobody goes out and just decides they want to buy insurance. So when they filled out that form, something triggered them. Now, they probably have forgotten by the time we get to them. And that happens, just human nature. We kind of shelve those bad thoughts off and don't want to deal with them. That's where you get paid to help them remember why they filled that form out. So guys, take that story. Stella, thank you so much for sharing it. That is a very powerful story. Go listen to that and don't try to just run with it and wing it. Go listen to that story over and over and over again. Make it yours. If you don't have one, if you already have a great one, use it. But if you don't, pick that one up because that's very powerful. That covers a lot of bases for a lot of clients. And that's something that all can relate to because we have a young person who is no longer with us. And that's one of our biggest challenges. A lot of times is we're all 10 feet tall and bulletproof and, nobody's going to die till they're 99, and then even then it's going to be an accident. We just kind of all that mindset that's how it's going to be. So take that, use that, make sure that you're working with your clients to help them understand why they want this. And again, we're not planting that seed. They already planted it. We just have to help it grow. Great call, Stella. Great call, Spencer. I mean, I really appreciate you bringing that product to the forefront. That's one we've had for a while, but man, that's a phenomenal product. That really is going to help you maneuver around some situations where you're struggling to try to get something to fit. Use all this information that was shared with you. Two of the top producers in this entire hierarchy, guys. So hopefully you all got something out of that. I appreciate each and every one of you. jumping on. Let's get wrapped up for the week and head next week. Again, make sure that you are planning for Wednesday, planning for Wednesday for the digital conference. Take advantage of that, guys. All right. Thank you all for being on. Appreciate you.